Please welcome Harmony Foundation International Regional Director, Jim Clarke.
I've been around this unique American art form since I was about 18 months old. And after 8 midwinter conventions, 30 international conventions, and more district conventions than I can possibly count at this particular moment, I've come to the conclusion that I understand why we keep coming back. And it's not just for the contest, and it's not just for the tag singing, and it's not just the ringing chorus, and it's not just the fellowship, it's all of that and more. It's because every single time that we get a chance to get together, something changes within us. Because every second of every minute of every hour of every day of the year, if we so choose, we get overwhelmed time and time again with examples of pretty much the worst that the human condition has to offer. And though we strive to keep that out of our lives, we get numbed by it, we get overwhelmed by it, and at some point in time we just kind of accept that that is the human condition. And the world is kind of a miserable place. And then we get together, and we find that that is not the case. Do you know why that is? I'd invite everybody in the room to take 2 seconds and think about who it was who got you involved in singing in the first place. Who that person was who got you involved in barbershop in the first place. And I would ask you to think for a moment, have you ever had a chance to say thank you to them in person? And maybe it was so long ago. Maybe it was so long ago you never got the chance to do that. But because of that, especially folks down here in these lower levels, you realize that you are their legacy. What they gave to you, you gave to us. And now folks up there in the top, have you enjoyed yourselves this week? When you go back home to your schools and your families and your friends and all that, are you going to tell them what a great time you had here at this barbershop convention? Folks down here in the lower levels, I want you to think for a minute about what you just heard, because that is your legacy. We all strive individually. As Perry White said earlier this week, we cast these pebbles one at a time into the water, and we make a difference. We absolutely make a difference. One at a time, we make an unbelievable difference in all the lives around us. One person can make a difference in the lives of not just 10 or 20 or 100, but in the lives of thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands. But when we come together as a group, just how huge a difference can we make together? And this is your gift to the rest of the world. You send out into the world more greatness, more goodness, more joy, more positivity than just about any single group has the ability to do. And friends, that's why Harmony Foundation exists. We are simply the messengers. We are simply the ones taking your gift out into the world to be able to do that. We are taking what you give of yourselves, and as a group, we are taking that forward as best we can in every way that we can, every day that we can, so that you can change the world without having to be the one to go out there every day, because your individual efforts in your own individual communities is enough. You have done untold good. And almost every person here at this convention is a Harmony Foundation donor. You are helping transform the world through the power of singing. Your charitable gifts are changing the world. We're about to head to a break. We're going to have Harmony Foundation members out there at the Harmony Foundation booth. If you think in any way, shape, or form, in some small shape or form, that you are changed by this experience this weekend, that these folks, how many non-barber shoppers we got here in the hall? You think that they're not going to go home transformed? You think that they're not going to go home and change the world, and you've been a big part of that? Help us help you change the world, because we don't want to have just all of our individual pebbles into that water sending out ripples. We want to have one gigantic barbershop boulder. We want to throw that out there into the seas of the world and say, get a load of this. We want to send those tsunamis of harmony out across the world because we know what it does, because it's transformed us, and you have transformed them. Let's continue to band together. Let's see what we can do to make an even bigger difference than we've made before, because we know that when we are changed and they are changed, the rest of the world has a chance to know the power of positive singing, transformative power of music in their lives. And there is nothing else like it in the world. Please come see us out there. Pat everybody on the back for being here, because when we come together like this, we send out more unbelievable change into the world. Thank you so much for all that you've done for Harmony Foundation. Thank you to these kids for being here. We'll see you out in the hallway.